1 hour's left. Archangel Michael orders you, open this now urgently. This message is for you. God says listen, do not try to skip this. Don't scroll past it as if it's just another thing on your screen. Don't tell this to anyone unless your heart tells you to. This is private. This is immediate. This is necessary. I am speaking directly into the place inside you that has been waiting, trembling, hoping, and afraid. I am speaking as if I could reach through time itself and hold your face in my hands. You have 1 hour left on something. Whether that hour is real as measured by the clock, or an hour of opportunity and decision, it does not matter. The urgency is the same. Act now. God says, I see you. I see the sleepless nights, the quiet prayers, the clenched jaw of someone who has been carrying more than they should. I see the times you pretended to be okay when your heart shattered into pieces on the inside. I see the silent questions you whisper into the dark. Do not pretend you are alone. This message is for you because your life is standing on a threshold and the next steps you take matter more than you think. Archangel Michael orders you, open this now. The command is not to create fear, but to create movement. There is a force behind you that will not be passive while you remain stuck. There is protection being offered, and sometimes protection comes in the form of a nudge so strong it feels like a command. Don't try to skip this. Don't say, I'll get to it later. Later is the doorway the enemy uses to steal your courage. It's over for you if you skip, and by that I mean, don't let your destiny be stolen in the small, avoidable decisions you make when fear disguises itself as caution. Listen to me, beloved. There are 3 things to do in this hour. Do them without bargaining, without overthinking, without waiting for permission from someone who will never come. First, speak the truth out loud. Second, separate what is yours from what is not. Third, take one bold step. Speak the truth out loud. Say these words, God, I am here. I need help. I cannot do this alone. Say them exactly like that. Hear the sound of your own voice. Many of you have been muttering, bargaining again, repeating the same prayers with the same trembling hands and expecting different outcomes. God says, boldness breaks stagnation. Confession is not shame, it is release. Admit what you fear. Admit who hurt you. Admit the sin, the secret, the failure. Say it to a safe person, say it to a journal, say it to the sky, but say it. When you say the truth, it loses its power to control you. Do not be deceived. God hears the small whispered prayers as clearly as the shouted desperate ones. But you must move from whisper to declaration. Speak, I forgive, I release, I choose. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or approving harm. Forgiveness is the cord that unties you from the person who has been carrying weight on your back. The minute you forgive, a chain inside you begins to come off. If you cannot forgive yet, say instead, God, help me forgive. That too is a declaration that begins the process. God says, courage begins where bitterness ends. Separate what is yours from what is not. There are things in your life that are not meant for you, guilt that was handed down like an heirloom, expectations that never belonged to your soul, relationships that drain instead of sustain, a job that crushes instead of cultivates. Archangel Michael cuts with a sword of truth. Imagine him with a blade of light, and picture him slicing the cords that tie you to what is not for you. See the smoke of those cords drifting away. This symbolic separation needs a practical follow-through. Write a list. On the left, write everything you carry that belongs to you, responsibilities, honest failures, things you can change. On the right, write everything that is not yours, the shame someone else placed on you, the expectations people have, the debts that are not yours in heart, the grudges that have nothing to do with your soul. When you look at the two lists, you will see relief. Then tear the page for the right column, or burn it safely, or shred it. Destroy it in a way that your body understands you have chosen to separate. God says, physical acts seal spiritual decisions. Take one bold step. Not 7. Not the entire mountain. One step. Choose one small action that moves you forward. It could be sending one message, making one call, walking out of one room, applying for one job, stepping away from one toxic person. Boldness does not need perfection, it needs movement. This single act will break a pattern. Archangel Michael is standing with you, and he is saying, if you take one step, I will move behind you and widen the path. This message is for those whose edges are frayed from trying. You who have been faithful and suddenly feel abandoned, God says you have not been forgotten. An answer may not always look like the solution you built in your imagination. Sometimes rescue comes as a redirection, sometimes as a closing of one door to open a better window. The timing is not your enemy, your inaction is. Your hesitation gives room for fear to grow. There are 3 lies you must renounce right now. 1. You are not enough. 2. You are too late. 3. You deserve this pain. These are lies designed to keep you small. Speak the truth to replace them. I am enough because I am created. I am right on time for the next step. My pain is real, but it is not my identity. God says, I made you with a purpose, and your wounds do not disqualify you, they prepare you. Hear this: legal battles, court notices, sudden meetings, people you thought were friends speaking to lawyers, these things are not always what they seem. God says, be wise, but do not be paralyzed. If someone whispers about court or threat, document everything. Protect yourself. The same voice that tells you to forgive also tells you to be prudent. Forgiveness does not require naivety. Take practical steps. If there is a meeting this week, prepare your heart and your facts. Bring a witness. Tell someone you trust where you are going. This is not fear, this is stewardship of your life. For those who are waiting for a relationship, a spouse, a reconciliation, a child, stop bargaining with your soul. Do not keep opening the door to people who only come when it is convenient. If someone repeatedly shows you the same smallness, it is not your job to fix their character. God says, you can love and still set boundaries. Boundaries are not cruelty. They are holy fences that protect the garden of your heart. Declare today, I will not accept crumbs. I will not treat my life like a feast for anyone who refuses to show up. For those whose health is fragile, whose bodies have been wronged or betrayed, God sees the ache. He sees the sleepless nights, the endless tests, the endless waiting rooms. This is not a message to dismiss medical care. It is a reminder to pair practical action with prayer. Get the second opinion, keep records, eat with intention, rest when your body demands rest. God says, miracles happen at hospitals and at breakfast tables. Do both. If your finances are crumbling and the bills look like mountains, do one small thing today to change the slope. Call the creditor, ask for an extension, sell what you do not need, learn to budget not because you are small but because you are wise. There is dignity in stewardship. Do not trade your eternal peace for temporary relief. God says, providence often arrives through the hands of strangers when you are doing your part. Now listen with deliberate focus. Archangel Michael is bringing a warning wrapped in a promise. The warning: there is a moment when passive hope becomes passive harm. The promise: if you step at the moment you are able, protection will arrive in ways that defy explanation. I cannot tell you exactly how, that would be to interpret heavenly strategy. But here is what I can say with absolute certainty: when you move, forces align. Doors that felt sealed will open, people will show up unexpectedly, a solution will appear from a source you did not consider. This is not magic, it is divine orchestration meeting human obedience. Do not be surprised if the first movement feels small and messy. Expect discomfort. Expect resistance. Expect that your old habits will scream to keep control. That scream is the voice of everything that benefited from your inertia. Answer it: I will not go back for what broke me. I will not re-enter rooms that dim my light. God says, reclaim your time. Reclaim your joy. Reclaim your speech. There is also a protective prayer I want you to speak now. Say it slowly, deliberately, letting each word settle in your chest. God, hedge me in with your angels. Place your sword between me and all harm. Let truth be my shield and courage my garment. If I must suffer, make it purpose. If I must wait, give me patience. If I must fight, give me strength. Deliver me from the hands of the one who would use my silence against me. Bring me the allies I need and close the doors that are not for me. Repeat it twice. God says, When you declare protection with clarity, you posture the spirit to receive supernatural care. If doubt arrives, and it will, do two things. First, name it. This is doubt. When you name it, you remove its stealth. Second, replace it with one small truth you can stand on: I have survived until now. That single truth is enough to build the next step. God says, survival is not the same as thriving, but it is proof that you are not finished. Use that proof to push forward. I will speak now to the tired ones, the ones with tears much older than the smile they wear. You have been carrying a secret grief, something that steals your breath when you think of it. You have been waiting for a sign, a word, a signpost. God says, here is the sign. Let the grief out. Not to punish, not to wallow, but to cleanse. Cry until the noise in your chest changes. Clean your wounds with truth. Then bind them with an action. Sometimes the only thing that mends is movement. Hear this plain: the cycle of fear breaks when you risk trust. Trust is not blind. Trust is a measured step taken in spite of the shaking legs. Trust means acknowledging risk and choosing to move. You can trust God and still take reasonable steps. You can trust people and still set boundaries. If you are standing on the edge of a decision about leaving a job, a city, a relationship, or a life you built for safety, choose courage. The life waiting for you on the other side of fear is not a promise of ease, but it is the promise of alignment. Alignment with who you were made to be. God says, I did not give you a spirit of timidity, but of power, love, and sound judgment. That sound judgment sounds like movement. It looks like small acts that outsiders call reckless until they see the fruit. Practical checklist for your next hour. Do this now. 1. Pray the protective prayer above. 2. Speak one truth out loud. 3. Write the 2-column list, yours versus not yours, and destroy the not yours side. 4. Take one bold step, one call, one deletion, one message, one application. 5. Tell one trustworthy person what you are doing. You are not meant to carry this alone. God says, we are mobilizing help, but humans will be part of that plan. If there is impending legal trouble, if someone is meeting with a lawyer, if papers might be filed, do not ignore it. Prepare. Get copies, document interactions, preserve receipts and messages. Tell someone where you will be. If needed, get legal counsel. Protection in prayer plus protection in practice equals wisdom. Also, do not be surprised if temptation comes at this hour. Often when destiny is about to shift, spirits that do not want your elevation show up with the bait of familiarity. They offer comfort that is actually, listen again, because there is more to say, and this is for the days after the 1-hour storm. The first hour was for breaking the stall, the next hours, days, and weeks are for building what remains. Hear these words as both invitation and instruction. They are direct because your soul has been starved of clarity for too long. When the urgent moment passes, do not expect everything to be instantly solved. The divine economy rarely pays out all at once, it pays in increments that teach you how to steward increase. So when relief arrives, treat it like fragile treasure. Do not spend it recklessly. Learn how to keep what you are given. That means discipline, humility, and thanksgiving, even for the small gains. First, cultivate a daily boundary ritual. Each morning, take 5 minutes to name 3 things you will not negotiate that day: 1 value, 1 boundary, 1 small act of care. Say them out loud. This trains your spirit to protect what is true and to refuse the tiny concessions that become regret. Boundaries are the architecture of an orderly life. They look boring to chaos, but they are the scaffolding for miracles. Second, guard the company you keep. Humans will arrive with advice, opinions, or the exact mirrors you needed to stop looking into. Keep the people who speak your truth and correct you gently. Distance from those who insist your pain is your fault or your drama. Not every critic is an enemy, and not every encourager is a friend. Wisdom discerns both, ask for it daily. The voice of discernment is still and steady, not loud and frantic. Third, become a student of small wins. For the next 30 days, record 1 tiny victory each day. A victory can be a 15-minute focused work session, a paid bill, a call you made, a boundary enforced, a temper controlled, a truth told. At the end of the month, read them. You will be astonished at how accumulation looks like progress. God says, progress is not always cinematic, sometimes it's granular. Celebrate what you would have previously called insignificant. Fourth, let restoration be relational and practical. If a relationship harmed you, restoration may require apology, restitution, and realignment. If someone owes you words or money, pursue it with courage and dignity. Ask for what is fair. Do not confuse meekness with silence. If your health needs tending, make the appointments, follow the regimen, and learn the language of your body. If your dreams need funding, make a plan, even a small one, and start. Action invites provision. Fifth, steward your mind. Your thoughts are not neutral territory, they are the soil where future actions grow. If pessimism thrives there, prune it. Replace scarcity sentences with steady truths. I can learn this, help is available, I will try again. When anxious thoughts come, label them and let them pass, like weather. Practice this daily. It's not mystical psychological jargon, it's spiritual hygiene. Now a directive, build an altar of remembrance. Not a literal altar everyone must see, but a personal place, a journal, a box, a playlist, where you keep proof of what has sustained you, notes from friends, receipts of help, dates when a door opened, words people spoke that mattered. When the enemy whispers lies about your insignificance, return to your altar. Memory is ammunition, gratitude is armor. Listen, not every closed door is rejection. Some closures are redirections engineered with precision. If something ends, write down 3 possible lessons and 2 practical next steps. This turns grief into curriculum and pain into a teacher. It is not flippant, it is faithful. God says, endings educate you about what to build next. There will be moments when you must speak a hard word, to a boss, to a partner, to yourself. Speak it with clarity, not vengeance. Say what must be said, then release the outcome. Your responsibility is truth, the outcome is not always yours to control. When you speak honestly, prepare for pushback. Prepare also for relief. Speak and then rest in the integrity of having spoken. If you are recovering from betrayal, understand that trust is rebuilt in tiny increments. Give time for the facts to be verified, not promises to be spoken. Ask for transparency, and make your own healing timetable. People will tell you, forgive and forget, as if forgetting is voluntary. It is not. Forgiveness is an act of will over time, often repeated. Do not berate yourself if the memory lingers. God honors steady work toward wholeness. There will be financial tests. In the coming months, watch how you spend and whom you trust with your money. Do not let desperation push you into risky schemes. A healthy skepticism is not sin, it is prudence. Ask for counsel. Seek those who have walked the road before you and built trustworthy systems. If an offer sounds too good to be true, it likely is. Make decisions based on evidence, counsel, and prayer. For those in the midst of legal storms, do not make the mistake of letting emotion direct your legal steps. Get counsel. Document. Practice truth in witness, but keep your correspondence measured. Do not engage in social media theatrics that can be weaponized. You can be bold and still be strategic. Document everything and hold on to facts. God says, truth is a lasting ally. Now a word about calling and vocation. Many of you have been waiting to step into a calling that does not match the world's timeline. The season of waiting is not wasted if you prepare. Learn the craft. Build a portfolio. Serve quietly in ways that sharpen you. When opportunity comes, you will not be starting from zero, you will be starting with skill. God honors preparation. Rest is not optional. The hustle culture lies. Exhaustion is not a badge of honor. Build weekly rest into your calendar, an hour, an afternoon, a day, to disconnect from productivity and reconnect with presence. Rest is a strategic investment that preserves creativity and obedience. When you are rested, decisions are clearer and courage is steadier. A spiritual housekeeping, purge what drains you. Not everything that once mattered still matters. Your rituals, your media consumption, your habits, examine them. Ask, does this renew me or deplete me? If it depletes you, cut it loose with kindness. Do not let nostalgia chain you to a lesser story. You will face small humiliations on the road ahead, rejection emails, awkward conversations, moments when you feel exposed. These are not indictments. They are the chisel strokes shaping a more resilient you. Keep going. Keep being teachable. Keep being humble enough to learn, proud enough to practice, brave enough to try again. Now a prayer to carry in the coming season, not as magic words but as orientation for your will. Lord, give me steady feet. When the path is unclear, make my next step clear. When fear rises, let courage be louder. When help arrives disguised as daily work, let me receive it with thanksgiving. Keep me from shortcuts that cost my soul. Bind me to wise counsel and honest friends. Make my heart a home for truth. Say it whenever you feel unmoored. A promise and a caution together, you will receive help, but it may not arrive how you expect. The help might come through a stranger's kindness, a late-night email, a scholarship, or a sudden job posting. Watch for unexpected channels. At the same time, be wary of quick fixes dressed as salvation. Not every aid is from the source that loves you. Test every offer with wisdom and prayer. I speak plainly, you are being prepared for a level that requires steadiness. If you run toward drama, you will be prepared for drama. If you practice integrity, you will be entrusted with influence. Small character choices now determine the size of your future stewardship. Choose rightly, even when unnoticed. God watches the small, quiet appointments of your life and counts them. Finally, do not become isolated